Hello, and welcome to episode 4 on pressing positivity. I hope everybody is doing well. I myself have had a better day today than I did yesterday, so that's good news. I hope that most of you at least can say that too. So first of all, I want to give a little update. I received an email today and my new mic will be coming on Monday. So I am pretty excited about that. And today I'm going to be talking about an experience that I'm currently having with selling something online. It has been absolute madness. So I'm going to be telling you guys the story of what happened, the crazy person that I'm dealing with, and the chaos that my life has become since Thanksgiving because of this crazy person. Without further ado, let's get into the story time. So back in the beginning of November, I decided that I wanted to sell something. And it's not a small ticket item, but I knew that I wasn't going to be selling it, like it wouldn't be available for a few weeks. And having sold stuff online before, I know that it can be a bit of a minefield. Like, there's some crazy people, there's some like entitled people, there's a lot of people who are time wasters and mess you around. If you've ever sold something online, you know exactly what I mean. So I posted it, my ads a few weeks early so I could, get through all of that and find an actual buyer for when the item became available. Off I went to the classifieds, the many online classifieds, and I posted the ad in several places, copied and pasted it, and I wrote explicitly in the ad that I would only accept cash or electronic bank transfer to be paid at the time of collection. I'm not messing around. I wasn't negotiating my prices. I made it all very clear in the ad, and that's very important to remember for later. Now, I'm not really going to talk about all the other crazy people that contacted me, like the scammers, the time wasters, etc. I'm just going to talk about this one person. This one person is enough. Like, we don't need the others because this one is enough. So almost immediately after I posted my ad, it was like less than 24 hours later, I received a text from an interested party, and she asked me if she could call me. I said yes. And so I spoke to her on the phone at length. We talked for like 15 minutes, and she was telling me a lot about her personal life and that she was having a really hard time, etc. I'm not going to share her story because it's not mine to tell, but basically she's been having a really hard time, and having this was going to help her out so much. Like, she was so grateful and so happy. And so we ended the call there. Like I said, the item wasn't becoming available for about 3 weeks after I had spoken to her, so she knew that there was a waiting time. Like I said, the item wasn't going to be available for weeks. She knew exactly when it would be available. We discussed it. We arranged everything. And she was texting me like on a semi-daily basis, like about it, to make sure that the deal was still going to go through and that everything was fine and we were still like cool and whatever. And, I was patient. I texted her back every time. I told her, yeah, it's all fine and whatnot. And then about 3 days before she was due to collect the item, she called me, and she was then trying to negotiate the price on an ad where I said that the price was non-negotiable, and actually the price was extremely reasonable to begin with, which is why I didn't want to negotiate. Like, I'm not a person who lists something for higher so that people can make lower offers. Like, I post it at the price that I will accept no lower than that. And so she called me trying to negotiate the price. I told her no. I told her that, the price was already reasonable. It was the lowest that I'm willing to accept. And, I appreciate her situation, and I have my own situation. Like, I know she's got problems, but I have problems as well, and I wasn't willing to part with this for lower. So she got a little bit upset. I said to her, if you don't have the money, that's okay. Like, I have other people who are interested, and other people who have obviously called me and texted me, etc. And I could just sell it to someone else. If you don't have the money, that's fine. And she said, no, no, I'll have the money. I'll have the money. And I was like, all right. So we arranged a time and a date for her to come. So she was supposed to come and pay and collect the item, and everything was going to be gravy. There was actually somebody who offered me higher than my asking price, and I turned them down because I felt like, I made a deal with this lady and it's the wrong thing to do to accept higher, even though it would have been in my best interest. But like, I had already promised the item to her if she had the money. And so I turned that offer down. And now I wish to God I hadn't. So last Sunday, she came and she collected the item. And when it came time to paying, just be mindful that, like, I am not a stupid person. When I sell something for a high value, I get contracts. So this woman has signed a contract for the item, and it says right on the contract how much she's supposed to pay and whatever. So it comes time to pay after she's looked over everything and everything's fine, and she pulls out an envelope, pulls out cash and a check. I bet you can see where this is going now. So I was really not wanting to take this check from her, but she swore up and down to God, the moon, the stars, the universe, like Baby Yoda, that this check is good. It's from her mom. Her mom was helping her out to pay for the rest of what she couldn't afford to pay for, and she swore this check is good, it's fine. I promise it's not going to bounce, whatever. And me, being a trusting idiot, believed her. So I said, okay. Like, she signed the contract. I said, okay. She took the item. I took the cash and the check, and I went to the bank and deposited it. And I checked my bank a couple days later, and it looked initially like everything had cleared. This was on Tuesday. She came on Sunday. I checked my bank Tuesday. It looked like everything was clear. And then I received a notification from my bank on Thursday, which was Thanksgiving, and it told me that I had a $12 fee come out for a returned item. So I went and I checked my bank, and sure enough, this check bounced. I was pretty mad. I felt like I had done this woman a solid favor, by holding thing for her, by dealing with her, by not giving it to someone else for a higher price. And then on top of all of that, I took a check from her against my better judgment, let's be honest. And then the check bounced. So I felt pretty pissed. So I text her immediately and I told her, before you think about blocking me, like, I've got your mom's license plate number. I have your mom and dad's information because it's on the check, like their address and their phone number and stuff. And I have her address from the contract. I have her phone number, her IP address, and her email address from her responding to my ad. And I said, don't think that this is going to go away. I told her that she needed to pay like the bounce check amount plus the $12 fee in full, or return the item and I would give her her cash back, which I didn't have to do because in the contract it says that if she makes partial payment and I have to repossess the item, then that's like on her. But I offered to give her her money back if she returned the item, like what she actually had paid. And then she responded to me, basically calling me a liar about the bounce check, demanding that I prove to her what the check actually did bounce. So I sent her a photograph from my bank showing what check it was that bounced. And then she said to me, like, oh, well, I don't have the money right now. Like, I can't pay you. And I said, well, then just return the item to me and I'll give you your money back. Then you'll have, some money. And she said that she needs a copy and that I'm wasting her time and that there's nothing that she can do about it and that kind of thing. So this was on the Thursday, and I told her that she had until 11 a.m. on Friday to make the payment in full or return the item, or I was going to, take some action, whether it be going up there myself or calling the police or doing something. And so she was basically telling me that I'm childish and and that I'm inconveniencing her and I should grow up and that kind of thing. So I gave her until 11:30 Friday morning. I hadn't heard anything from her after I sent her the proof that she insisted on having. And I told her that I was on my way up and to have the item ready because I was going to be taking it. And she told me, I'm not there. It's Thanksgiving weekend. I'm gone. And and she said that she was going to she had partial payment. She was going to give me partial payment on Friday morning and then she would pay the rest on Monday. And she asked me if she can send it via Cash App, to which I said yes. So she would be paid up by Monday. She's claiming that this was an honest mistake. And me, once again, being the trusting idiot, gave her the benefit of the doubt. So I sent her my Cash App details at 1 in the afternoon, and she texted me back at 2:30. She said, I have all of the money now. I'm so sorry about it. Give me a little bit to get to the bank, and then I'll Cash App it to you. And I said, all right. And she said, and then she texted me at 8 p.m. So nearly 6 hours later, and she said, hi, do you have PayPal or can you receive through Facebook Pay? My Cash App's not working. So I gave her my PayPal at 20 minutes later. And then I text her again at 9:47 p.m. and I told her I'm not going to bother texting her anymore and I'm going to the police and I'm doing it through the police because I'm sick of her messing me around. It doesn't take 7 hours to send money electronically. So that was last night that this exchange happened where she was asking me for all of my details, but then never sending a payment through. And so I told her I was going to the police, and I actually did. I went to the police station super late last night because it's the only time I had, and I made a police report. And I told her that. I told her I've made a police report, and she texted me today. I'm going to read these texts because there's not many, but they get less and less literate as we go through the day. She said to me that she called her local police station and there's no reports made. So she's calling me a liar and also basically telling me to go fuck myself because there hasn't been a police report, which she's wrong about. And so she said, I called the police department, no records or anyone calling about this item or whatnot. Says, sorry, mama, she lying to you. Use something else. I have the money. Come drive up and get it when I get back, or I can mail it to you in a money order, that and better. So she screwed me by bouncing a check for almost $400, mind you. Plus I have my $12 fee and I'm having to deal with this nightmare, but she's acting like I'm the asshole in this situation. And then she says, I don't know, my bank's not compatible with some of the apps or not working for some reason, and I can take a pic of the money order before I send it. Let me know. And I said, yes, the police don't have the report because it wasn't made with that department. It was only forwarded to them. And I told her if she sends a money order recorded mail today, it should arrive by Monday because she's only a 2-hour drive away. And she said, they told me it was never forwarded to them, but anyhow, it will be on its way to the address on the paperwork. Write or you send it and you'll receive it. And I said, well, they are mistaken, madam. I sat right there in the police station while the officer who took my report spoke to an officer in your local town. I don't lie, and I have no reason to. As you can clearly see on your copy of the paperwork, it states that the item does not belong to you until the full fee is paid, which means that the item is still mine. You can easily Google if bouncing a check is illegal, which it is. I mean, basically every adult knows that. Now, here is where her texts start getting really less literate. So bear with me. She said, you paid in full. Money order is cash too and mailed in on its way. So not anymore. So stop wasting mine and the cops' time when they have more emergency things to work on, not this. Bye and thanks. And then I replied, I wasted your time? Honestly, that's insane. You paid with a bad check, and just so you're aware, I have your parents' address and phone number too, as do the police. So even if you gave me a bad address, which I suspect you did, the bank your parents are with will provide an address to the police, even if the one on the check is old. I don't know why you're messing around so much. You agreed to pay the price, so just pay it. No bank doesn't do electronic bank transfers. I was being nice by letting you take it without paying upfront, and you're trying to screw me over. And so she responded with this. With lies and threats and childish things. And no, I didn't never do that kind of stuff. Wow, I'm so not like that and never do bad checks. My parents helped me with the last amount, and something must have come out at the same time you cashed the check. That's all. I would never do such a thing. I never have or would, and the address isn't old. You had the checks. The one wasn't no relationship to me, and you didn't. I can't even read this. Why are you being like this? You think fuck up and you don't know anything about checks or how things work. Well, at this point, I really think it's her who doesn't know how checks work, because when you write a check, it's your responsibility to ensure that you have enough funds in the account to cover the check and any other payments that you have coming out of the account. Or did I get that wrong in math class in middle school? And then she proceeded to say, yes, banks do electronic payments, so you in a different state, that doesn't matter. In world, then and to, and then she goes in all caps, start, you never said only cash payments, so it's not on me. First of all, I did specifically say cash payment or electronic payment on collection. And also, it is on you. If you pay with a bad check, it is on you. You signed the contract. It's on you. Like, how entitled can a person be that they think that making a payment that doesn't go through is not on them? I just don't understand. And I told her, actually the original advertisement said cash or Zelle only, which I also provided to the police. And she said, for what you get in, the rest in laid in full with 12 extras, so stop and move on and grow up, and thanks for the item, but you can't do anything without calling the cops, you cop caller. You'll have it in a few days, paid in full. Bye now. And I didn't respond because honestly, this is just like insanity. It is the most insane person I've ever dealt with. Like, I feel like I'm on an alien planet dealing with aliens, because this is just crazy to me. So apparently, according to her, she sent like basically a money order for $400 in the mail, not recorded. I'm pretty sure she's just stalling for time. She's lucky that the transaction happened in my state and not in hers, because when I called her state and they were not yet aware that the transaction didn't happen there, they were ready to go arrest her like immediately. Like, they were gonna go arrest her for this. So it happened in my state and the laws are a little bit different. So I'm still trying to navigate through all of this and deal with all of this, because at this point, if she thinks that I will just let it go, she is very wrong. Like, a 2 hour drive is nothing for me. I will go up there. Like, I don't know what she thinks she's doing, but I have like all of the information of her whole family. So this has been the craziest situation that I've personally ever had to deal with selling something online. If you guys have similar stories or worse stories or other horror stories, I would love to hear about them, because I don't want to be alone in this. I don't want other people getting scammed or screwed over, but also I don't want to feel like I am just a naive idiot for believing in this woman. So please share your experiences with me. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please let me know, follow or subscribe or whatever it is that you do on whatever your platform you're listening on. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for listening and goodbye.